I want to encourage you guys to see Japanese real estate properties opportunities for good investment. And to support that, I try to find some data that Japanese real estate properties are in some measures superior to the American real estate properties. But I couldn't find clear data that Japanese real estate properties are superior. I couldn't find clear data about that. But yeah, I find that Japanese, especially a condominium in Tokyo, the prices of condominiums in Tokyo are less expensive than the condominiums in New York metropolitan areas. These New York metropolitan areas include New York City, City of New York, and also New Jersey City. Those cities makes metropolitan New York areas. Anyway, yeah, condominiums in Tokyo are less expensive than the American condominiums, especially in New York metropolitan area. And also, the mean return from real estate are higher. American real estate get higher return than Japanese real estate. You can get higher return from the American real estate than the Japanese real estate. So those data doesn't support, those data don't support that Japanese real estate are superior than the American real estate properties. But from my experience, as I'm a real estate agent in Japan, Japanese real estate, especially condominiums, are very cheap. For example, you can get studio type condominium for about 2 million yen. Of course, this kind of Japanese condominiums are outside of Tokyo. In Tokyo, you couldn't find, it's almost impossible to find studio type condominiums for a price of 2 million yen. You couldn't find that. But outside of Tokyo, like Ibaragi Prefecture, Gunma Prefecture, or Tochigi Prefecture, or Chiba Prefecture, those prefectures are around Tokyo. Within 100 kilometers from Tokyo. You could find a very low price studio type condominiums in such areas. And even 2 million yen studio condos you can rent them out for as about from 20,000 yen up to 3,000 yen. So you can get return on investment. You can get return more than 10% from such low price Japanese studio type condos. And I think in New York metropolitan area, yeah, I watched Zeros, the famous American website for searching real estate. I almost couldn't find such low price studio in New York metropolitan areas. I couldn't find that. But in Japan, around Tokyo, you you could easily find such low price studio condos, and you still get a return of more than 10% easily. Uh, return is when I say return, I mean that's actual return, not just the return that you get from the annual income, divided by the purchase price. I don't mean that. I mean the actual return that you subtract a annual cost like management fees or taxes from the annual income, and you divide the amount by the purchase price. Then you can get the actual return. Return is that return. And I think 2 million yen, that is equal to about $18,000. By the way, currency exchange rate is about $1 is equal to 111 yen right now today. And so Japanese real estate price is also depend on the currency exchange rate for foreigners. But again, still, I think you can get a very cheap Japanese properties, and you can get a return from such cheap properties more than 10%. So for rich or people who has a lot of money, I think you should invest money in real estate in Tokyo. Even you invest money in condo or houses or buildings or mansions or whatever. If you have a lot of money, you should invest money in Tokyo's real estate. But if you don't have a lot of money, but you still want to invest money in real estate, I think Japanese real estate properties, except for Tokyo, are very attractive for such investors. So yeah, so please consider uh, Japanese low price real estate properties are opportunities for foreign investors, foreign buyers. Uh, I think that the return of 10% are quite high, and I mean the 10% is the actual return you can get from low price Japanese properties. And yeah, even in such, for example, a Japanese studio in outside Tokyo, a very low price, but still you can rent them out at around 25,000 yen for monthly, and usually monthly rent fees, you know, don't decrease don't decrease. uh, I mean, the rent fees usually, you know, they are not so affected. They are not so strongly affected by the economy. Even in the economy is bad, still you get like, you know, same rent fees from tenant, and it doesn't you don't need to decrease, you don't need to cut your rent fees even in a bad economy. In Japan, the rent fees usually strongly doesn't affected by economy. But on the other hand, even economy is good, you couldn't easily increase your rent fees. Uh, that's the way it is in Japan. But I mean, it's Japanese rent fees. I think, especially for residential properties, rent fees are very stable. I think, yeah, from my experience, the residential rent fees are very stable. So, and usually Japanese borrowers, I mean Japanese tenant, are usually very also stable. I mean, once they borrowed like, you know, one studio condo from owners, they usually stay there for like, you know, decade. So we usually don't move a lot, unlike Americans. Sorry for Americans, but that's true. Yeah, we usually tend to stable, and Japanese tenants are usually stable. I think they are more stable than the American tenants in the American market, I think. And so that also makes Japanese real estate attractive. So in a conclusion, as a summary, I think Japanese real estates are affordable, and you can get reasonable return. So I think for foreign investors, Japanese real estate properties I think that's those are big opportunities for you guys. And even the Japanese real estate market slowly recovering from the real estate bubble almost 3 decades ago. 3 decades ago, we slowly recovering from that, but I think the prices of real estate in Japan are still, I think, undervalued. Yeah, in some measures, the prices of Japanese real estate are, I think, very undervalued. If you compare the Japanese prices to the real estate in, for example, in Hong Kong or in Shanghai or Singapore or any other cities like, I don't know, maybe Australia or Korea, Japanese real estate, I think they are undervalued. Yeah, I think many of you guys, could agree with me, and so please try invest your money in this Japanese real estate market. I think you will not regret your invest in Japan for real estate market. You will not regret. And that's pretty much all for today, I think. Thank you for watching, and if you have any question, you can send me email, or you can give me a call, or you can put your comment below. And I put other videos, so please watch videos here, and please subscribe my channel here. Thank you for watching. Until next time, peace.